guys, so today we'll be continuing our session. In our previous session we learned on how to create paragraphs, hyperlinks and also tables. In this session I'll be teaching you guys how to create an input type. So let me say you open a page and you will see enter the details for purchases, and you see name, age, email, and you'll be filling in the details. I'll be teaching you guys how to create such details. So let me enter our normal tags for the HTML. For one to start entering the input types, one can decide to just create the input types, but one can also realize after entering all these types there is a button you will press, something like submit or enter, before this inputs the user has inputted will be sent to the server. Okay, so first of all one needs to create a form method, and in the form method you just write a method, you write post. For the post, if I say I'm explaining it now, you won't understand it, but I'll be explaining this later. Post, and then the action. With the action, it asks you, or it states that where do you want the user to send the details he or she has filled. If you want the user to send these details to another place, you enter the place name. Or if you want the user to repeat what the user has written, you enter the page the user is writing his or her input. So the file name is class HTML. So let me just write class.html. Okay, I'll close it. So here I'll start writing my input types. Input type, maybe text, and the name of the input type, I'll name it name. Now close it. And with the input types, it doesn't have a closing tag because it's only one tag compared to the break tag. So maybe I can just write name if one can realize the break, I wrote two breaks because the first break will move me to the next line and the second break will move me to another line, leaving a space between the first input type and the second input type. Type number. So the name will be number. And in case, okay, yeah, let me save it. So as you can see, we have the name, we have the number, and in the number, because I made this number, anything I enter won't go unless I enter a number. Yeah. So let me say, in case I want to indicate to the user that hey, here you need to put in your age, or hey, here you need to put in your number, or hey, this and this and that, I can write in here placeholder equal to enter your age. As you can see, so with the age it has written enter your age, and maybe I'm expecting people from 12 years to 20 years. I can just write minimum 12, maximum 20. Save it. So anything I write below 20 won't be accepted. But as I said earlier, with the input types, we'll be needing a button. Maybe I'm done writing my name, which is Ignatius, and my age will be like 32, which is more than 20, so it won't be accepted. So let me just write 15. And now I'm done writing everything, and there is no button. If I want to create a button, I'll just come here and create another input type. Another input type called submit. So with a submit, it submits what you've written. It submits these statements to the HTML, the class HTML. As I said earlier, the action tells where the details will be submitted to. So with the submit, when it's being clicked upon, what has been written will be submitted to here. So I'll name the submit CBMIT submit. So let me reload it. As you can see, there is a submit here, and I didn't bring my break, so let me just bring it. Because whenever I enter anything, I press the Ctrl plus the S to save it. So I'll write my name, I'll write my age is 35, submit. As you can see, it's not submitting because the age is 45, and I wrote value must be less than or equal to 20. So let me write 17. Okay, 17. Oh, it's still not submitting. Well, I don't know right now. Okay. So minimum is 12, maximum is 20. Input type, submit, name, submit. You see the mistake I make? Instead of after opening this one, I didn't close it. That is why when I pressed the submit button, nothing was coming. And one thing about HTML2, whenever one makes an error, it won't tell you there is an error, but you realize that if you open your web browser and you are executing your instructions, nothing will be executed. So one should always make sure everything entered has been entered correctly. I'll also teach you guys how to detect errors, but not now, please. So let me just close it, save it. Okay, so submit. Let me 33. Submit. You see, value must be less than or equal to 20. Fine. Let me write 3. Value must be greater than or equal to 12. Okay. So let me write 17. Submit. See, now it has submitted. You see. So name 67. It's telling me the value is it must be equal to 20. Okay. Then let me write 19. 19. So now it has been submitted. So that is how to create the submit form. So let me say, in case you want to create it in an interactive form where it will appear, or should I say, one can see it like a form fill, like a fill. An example is you go online and you want to register an account for a website, or should I say Facebook, and the forms will come. One can see say the form has a background, an interactive color, and everything has been aligned accordingly. To do that, there is a trick in doing that. If you say you are writing this orderly, always it won't be orderly, it will be misarranged. So the best thing one can do is to write the forms in a table. So we will first create a table. Let's create a table. Let me clean this form. So I erased all the forms I created earlier. We'll create a table, and then we'll create a table head. And in the table head, we write forms to be filled. Then we can come to our table row, and then we will write what we want to write. But here is the case: we want 2 columns. We want one name and a space. So what we will do is, in the table there is another function called a colspan. The colspan, what it does is it divides the column into 2. The colspan divides the column into any number you want. So if I write colspan 2, it will divide the column into 2. If I write colspan 3, it will divide the column into 3. So in my head, I have my row. In my table row, I can write maybe table display, then I'll write my name, then I'll come again, table display, and in the table display I'll write my input type, text, name. As you can see now it's being arranged in an orderly manner. So now I have my form, I have my name because it's in a table. So as you can see, this is my first table row, and I said about the code span, it divides the column into two. And if you can see, we have two displays here. We have the name and the input type. So the name is in one column, the input type is also in another column, but they are all on the same row. So this is the same table row. So if I come to the next table row, and maybe I'll be using age, right? So table display age. Table display input type age name. Sorry, input type, I need to make it number. Input type number, name, age. Then I'll close it. And maybe in the age I write my minimum should be 12, maximum should be 20, and I'll put in the placeholder as enter your age. So as you can see, everything is being arranged accordingly. And let me say, if you want to change the color of the background, you go to the table, then you go to something like the background color, and maybe I'll make it yellow. Save it, continue. So as you can see, so any color you want. Okay. So that is all for today, the input types. So that is how to create the input types. If I want to create an input type for a form, just fill in your details. But one can also realize, after filling in the details, maybe the name I entered, you see. Okay, let me add the button. Okay, so maybe after the name I added words and letters, which is not right, but still, if I click the submit, it will submit it for me. So that is it for today, please. Thank you. And also I want to show you guys something. So this is my website. The reason why I'm showing you guys this is after everything we will learn, creating this will be very, very easy for you to create. It won't be any big deal. It's very easy. Maybe sign up. And also this is a website students give me to create for. Thank you very much, and that will be the end of today's lessons, and I hope you guys understood everything. In case one is having any problem in understanding, you can contact the tutor or the admin for any assistance, and we are there to help you. Thank you very much.